This video will contain spoilers, but a very in-depth theory of every single thing that happened at the very end of Arcane 2. So we're going to take a look at everything that's happened and all the characters you saw, all the characters that were hinted at, and more. So if you haven't watched it or you want to go watch it, please go watch it and then come back. It will make a lot of sense. If you haven't played League of Legends, then you're in for a wild trip of a lot of characters you might not know yet, but there's some good stuff come in. So this is your last chance. Get out before you hear spoilers of everything that's going to happen at the very end. But let's get into it. This is going to get spicy. So let's go with the boring stuff because we got to get context. Vi and Caitlyn are together. Caitlyn has a messed up eye. Now, this is a very weird way that Riot team is going, where they're basically definitively changing what we know from the game to canon. So a lot of lore is being crafted in this televised TV series. Mainly, Caitlyn just lost an eye. For these two characters, that's the main thing. 100% Vi is going to join the police force. That's not rocket science. But Caitlyn losing an eye and all that other fun stuff, their characters are pretty much done. I don't see them going anywhere else. These guys are done. Ekko is just now starting. Ekko, despite what happened at the very end, I can almost guarantee that he's going to make a better version of his time warping device and go crazy in Zaun. I don't think he's about the whole thing going on with Piltover and Zaun in terms of he's not going to be a part of it. He clearly started the Fireflies. That's 100% still going to be going after the events at the end of the season. However, he's going to be kind of the Zaun crime fighter, superhero kind of character, clearly. So that's going to be really cool. Can't wait to see that. Is his stories done? Absolutely not. There's so many cool things you can do with Ekko. However, for the sake of Arcane 2 and the end of that season, he's not going to be a character I don't think they're going to come back to until major events. I really look at Ekko as a Miles Morales character from Spider-Man, where he is so good and such a pivotal character that you will see him often, but not just willy-nilly. He is going to be a mainstay character. Now let's talk about Noxus. Noxus has a lot going on, so let's just talk about it really quickly. That Raven, 100% Swain. You can even see in his character arc, they're clearly hinting it. That's not crazy. And Bess is dead. That was spicy. No one would have ever thought that a champion, especially a brand new champion, would have actually died in the show. Confirmed, 100% dead. No way they're going to bring that back. If they bring her back, terrible storytelling. New champion and her death, 100% confirmed. That's crazy. Now, there's no way that Mel is not becoming a champion. There's clearly like new mage, mid lane, some cool powers, definitely a support-like character. That's going to be really cool. Probably not going to be a champion release until another season of Arcane. I don't even see her being released in Arcane Season 3 because Arcane Season 3 is going to go probably a completely different route, or they're going to call it the TV series something else. But we know she's coming. It's weird that they didn't put her in, but we will see her go a different direction. And then the Black Rose. Black Rose is obviously playing a huge was a huge plot device in all of this story. So we will see more of them in the future. I can guarantee it because they were such a big player in this season 2 that I think they're setting that up for season 3 because you have Black Rose everywhere. Depending where they go, who knows, because they can go to Ionia and keep Noxus there. They could go to Shurima and have the Black Rose there. I think the connecting from essentially Arcane Season 3 or whatever they'll call it eventually is going to be the Black Rose and Noxus. I think that's 100% can be assumed to be true at this point because how they ended it, it just seems like they put a big bow on Piltover Zaun, said that's good enough. let's move on to the next story. Now, a lot of characters are left hanging in the world. So this is your last chance. This is where we're going to get spicy. This is where we're going to really get into things. Singed and Orianna. Is Singed done? I don't think so. If you didn't catch what was going on, Singe's daughter is Orianna. So what I think is going to happen is if they ever go back to Piltover Zaun, there is going to be a major story arc of Singed losing it because he lost his daughter, Orianna. So this is going to be really crazy coming in the future. So if you didn't know, if you didn't catch on, here you go. Orianna's a huge champion, very well played. Probably a big favorite of the community. So I think these two are going to come back eventually, and Singed is really made himself to be the biggest villain of Piltover Zaun. So I definitely can see season whatever going back to Piltover Zaun, just Singed and Ekko going at it. That's why I think Ekko is going to be the superhero and why he's going to be the big character. Because Zaun is going to be on his back. You can't really trust Vi and Caitlyn. Their stories are done, so it doesn't make sense to bring them back as main characters. It's going to be Ekko and his internal battles against these guys, and they're going to have to beat Singed, and we'll see what happens to Orianna. Jayce and Viktor. What happened to them is another very surprise take of the lore. I believe everyone was shocked by where Viktor was going. I'll be honest. Where we left off on season 1, I liked Viktor. And the whole time in season 2, I hated Viktor's storyline. It just felt too godlike. And that's what they ended up doing. I didn't like it. I love Viktor being this sort of make me a machine so I'm like perfect. That's how I'm going to do it. And so they went hextech perfection and this whole anomaly kind of stuff, polarity point. It was very interesting up until the very end where I don't agree with it, but it turned out to be a very interesting story with them both disappearing. With them both disappearing, I believe that we will see Viktor coming back as a machine, fully machine, like we see in the game, and Jayce is going to try to stop him. I think there's going to be a huge development and journey with them where Viktor is going to go machine route and Jayce is going to go the other route. Now, I think there's going to be other developments that will go in. Maybe we'll touch on that later. However, these guys are coming back. They're definitely not dead. They're probably going to go on another super galactic journey like Jayce did. And they're going to come back and they're going to be enemies very clearly. However, they're not going to be at the scale that Viktor was. It's probably going to be Viktor hiding out in Zaun, making his own machine cult again. Jayce back in Piltover, being the man of progress, literally his name, trying to revolutionize Piltover in the main idea of to stop Viktor is where I'm thinking. Heimerdinger. Everyone thinks Heimerdinger is dead. Definitely not. He's a Yordle. Yordles do crazy things. My assumption is that he went back to where all Yordles are. I think it's Bandle City. I think when he got teleported back, I believe Yordles just hop in between portals already. So I think Heimerdinger sacrificed himself, in quotes, to get out of Piltover and Zaun. In a way, where he's going back to Bandle City and he's going to do some stuff there. I think we will see the big reveal of Heimerdinger hiding out in Bandle City. So I don't think he's definitely not dead. And because he wasn't just there after they teleported out, he wasn't dead. That's a clear indicator, right? In the show, they clearly took some time to show us him dying, essentially. They clearly showed blood and fur when he went too far. So when we didn't see that, we knew he wasn't dead. He's probably in Bandle City because that was multi-dimensional travel Yordles are used to. So there you go. Jinx. Now, a lot of people are thinking Jinx is dead, and that's how she broke the cycle. However, what we saw at Caitlyn at the very end, looking at the screen, it was her just going through the maps of that tower, and there's clear ventilation shafts at the side. So I think the theory is that she killed her father and got the fuck out. And now she's breaking the cycle by just not being there. You know, she's just gone and she's away, and her story is done, tied in a knot, really pretty, because this is what they want to do. It makes sense for Jinx's character. Is she's done. There's no more. Vi can go live her life. However, Jinx is not dead. Maybe we'll see her with Ekko, or maybe she's just creeping in Zaun, or even crazier, she leaves and we see her other places as a more well-rounded character. However, there is a possibility that she comes back, very tied to her character in-game. She comes back and she just runs around the city to cause mayhem, in quotes, but trying to do the greater good. Vi's chasing her down because obviously Vi thinks she's dead, but Jinx doesn't want to be a part of her life, so she doesn't jinx it and ruins it. So Jinx isn't dead. She's just hiding and trying to give Vi her happy life. That's why they're not going to be happy sisters. It makes sense with the characters. It makes sense what we've always known. Is it done in a very weird and ambiguous way? Yes, but I think when they reveal her later in events like Runeterra or something, or maybe a Dragon War or something like that, something galactic, it would be really exciting to see her fighting again. However, that's what I believe is going on with this character. Are these the same character? Answer is no. If you're not convinced, let me convince you right now. Look at the faces of those guys and think back to Arcane 2. Are those the same face? No, they are not. Now, to add to this evidence, in Arcane Season 2, Singe was shown a two-headed wolf several times. So, I firmly believe that their father was just the prototype, and what he's going to do is actually completely make Warwick, instead of a two-headed, it's a single-headed wolf, and that's Warwick. Said and done, right? Because at 0 point was there ever a wolf-like skin. Because to me, no matter how much you change the lore, what we think the lore is, I never saw a wolf face on the quote-unquote Warwick in Arcane 2. So I don't think they're the same. So I think it's their father, and then Warwick is going to be the other half of the wolf that Singe is going to use, that we will see later. Once again, that kind of ties to me believing them going back to Piltover Zaun, and this being a storyline where Singe is upset, he lost Orianna or something, and Viktor and Jayce come back. There's another Warwick. Jinx is discovered, like a lot of these crazy plot lines discovered. I can already see it happening. So get ready for that twist. However, I do think he is dead, 100% dead. They killed him off twice. It's impressive, but 100% dead. Now let's talk about Glask. She is a character people were surprised they didn't see. However, people made a good point that she put out masks for all the pollution that came out of the ventilation systems. Ventilation systems that people think came out with Jinx being in there and Vi and Caitlyn rushing through them. Maybe. However, now that Zaun has a seat at the table, this is where she's probably going to be. She's a Chem Baron, whatever. I think she's going to be head of Zaun, and that's going to be another storyline. She's coming in, and she's coming in strong, and she's going to try to lead Zaun, but a lot of people don't like how she's doing it. So that's why we don't see her yet, right? Has to be a different story. It has to take place further in the future. That's why we haven't seen her yet. Camille. Why we haven't seen Camille is Caitlyn's not going to be fighting anymore for a while. She's going to be head of the watch, whatever. She's going to be taken care of. They're going to have someone like her coming in and taking care of business, right? Now, with how much Hex Tech she has, whether she comes in before or after Jayce's return, who knows? But I believe if they're going to come back to Piltover and Zaun, there's going to be some explanations they're going to have to do. And maybe Jayce is hidden away and just working on secret Hextech equipment, or maybe they got a hold of some Hextech technology and they made it just for her. Who knows? But she's going to come in the next season to do some crazy stuff. Jhin, if you're going to bring Camille in, Jin's going to be the natural enemy. And I think Jhin ties really well with Ionia as well as Noxus. I think those three have really interesting developments together. With that being said, Jin's 100% probably going to be the next crazy villain. I think Jinx really popped out because of the insanity and because of the artwork and because Jhin is all about that stuff. Art, a spectacle. It's going to be a natural step for them to go into a similar direction, but completely different characters, completely different vibes. Not going to be about love in terms of two guy friends, a lesbian couple, or a more orthodox couple, right? Like they had all those friendships going on. I don't think you're going to see that. I think instead, in that new season, they're going to go a completely different route. It's going to be a lot of conflict, but not love-based conflict, if that makes sense. It's going to be very professional conflict, world-ending, life and death kind of situation. So I think Jin's going to be the best way, as he is a serial killer, and maybe they'll put a murder mystery on it. Who knows? Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank is what I think is going to happen with Jayce coming back, making a, robot based on Orianna and to fight against Viktor. I think that's the whole point of Blitzcrank. I'm fully expecting him to come out. When he didn't come out in this season, it made sense with the direction they went. However, I think Blitzcrank might be one of the surprise fun characters to replace Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger was just a lot of fun, just there to kind of keep things moving. Blitzcrank is going to be kind of a Baymax character, just really cool, really powerful, there to help out everybody. With that being said, that's it. That's everything about Arcane 2 that I got from the very end. Really exciting. I think the only things I will touch on as we're leaving is I like Season 1 better. Season 2 was just super unfortunate, in my opinion. I think there was a lot that they went through. They explored a lot of these crazy ideas. And I believe everyone would agree that having a third season with just this cast would be a lot better and would feel more well-rounded. Instead, I think these 9 episodes, it did feel like 3 seasons. So there's so much just back and forth all over the place that it's insane what they were able to do in season 2. You have to take that into account. I would give this an 8 out of 10. It was great. Super rush. I want more in depth, and people are saying that it's super fast paced. That's what makes it really good. However, I think there's a lot of big jumps, and I wish that they did just make this 4 seasons. I would love 4 seasons of Arcane, right? We ended the same place. It's just 4 seasons, and instead of being so rapid fire, just more in depth. I would love that way more. However, I know that some people think that would not make it as good. I disagree. I think their story and their art is carrying this immensely. Their storytelling is amazing. Just how they handled every single character, every single relationship, and the development of everyone was great. So I think they should lean in for more time and just really dig in to longer form stories. If they want to keep to 9 episodes, great. But I think they should have more go on with who they have instead of just jumping around and having all these dynamic stories hit at the very end. Because I feel like everyone just feels like, holy crap, that was overwhelming. Because a big thing I felt when I was trying to watch it in the very beginning, in the first 3 episodes, was I felt like if I wasn't fully locked in, I was missing stuff. It was overwhelming. it's like you had to go in a quiet, non-interrupting space and just watch it, because so much was going on. There's so much cool stuff, but it's hard to take it all in. But that's my first impression of it, and I'm excited to see what happened next. Can't wait to figure it out. Maybe I'll make another video on that later, but until then, thanks for listening, leaving in the comments what you think about what I said, what you think is going to happen next, what you think about the characters. I would love to hear about it, and I would love to make another video commenting on those, because I think this is just so good. You have to have an active discussion about it, because, oh man, I will stand by one thing. So much happened. There's so much to think about, so much to react to, but let me know what you think. Bye.